A little volatility picking up in here in Tesla. IV rank rising to about 28. Everybody's pricing in right around an $11 expected move by this Friday. We saw that drawdown in here on open, and we ended the day down almost $13. 12.92 is where we ended the day down. That's almost 4% from yesterday's trading session. Good news in here is that basically it looks like it was just kind of a healthy pullback, right? So a little profit taking, maybe bad European sales data helped with that as well. But after that drawdown, we more or less didn't really trade inversely with the markets and we didn't trade with it. We just kind of did our own thing in here in Tesla. So that is good. So we weren't affected by Powell or Trump or anything like that, although we were getting hints that a rate cut could come in July. And also Trump was saying that he wants to replace Powell, all that good stuff. So I'm not really affected by any of that in here, more or less just kind of doing its own thing. A little bit of healthy profit taking is what it looks like. Now, we do get a nice big drawdown in here at the beginning or in pre-market. Usually you see a little bit of hedging start to happen and a little skew start to happening to the bullish side in here in your options. That's exactly what happened in here today. So the volume, I'm sorry, your put call ratio for your volume in here is about 0.7. Open interest was about 0.95. So basically skewing in here to the upside. Calls basically dominated more or less towards the end of the day. So it looks like everybody was hedging a little bit to the upside in here. So this is where your risk is going to be. Obviously, because of yesterday and today, you had that big drawdown in here. So you had two red candles on the daily. That would bring this weekly candle in here. That would give us this large upper wick. You can see our body now is basically a doji in here on the weekly. So it looks like overall indecision, but that's just because we had the red candle yesterday. And then we had that big drawdown in here today at open. Now, if we go to the daily chart in here, you can see exactly where the volatility kicked in. There's your 2 days right here of red candles. We are trading below this 9-day EMA here on the daily chart. So that's going to be a place for us that we have to kind of breach first before we start making our way to these fib levels up here. So 341 is going to be the first resistance that we're looking at. That's 38.2 fib level. And then support wise, we're going to be looking at this 50% fib down here at 295, but this 200 SMA currently trading at 311 should be a good spot for us to get some footing. Now, anything above 341, nice whole numbers. We're going to be looking at 350, 360, and then 370. You can see this is where right here, this is going to be right around that 370 mark. Basically from those highs that we had back in May and February. So that's going to be a big spot for us. But basically, more or less anything above those fib levels, just look at it as $10 stepping stones, walking our way up to the 370s. And then before you know it, we're going to be getting to those 400s. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet in here. Let's worry about the 341s first, and then we'll start stair stepping our way to the 370. Now, RSI in here is basically neutral volume, more or less average, kind of what we saw in here from the past few days. Same thing. And overall, it looks like it was just a nice, healthy pullback in here. Everyone was just doing a little bit hedging to the upside in here just because you had that large drawdown. Markets kind of traded did their kind of, the markets in the Tesla, that is, kind of did its own thing, right? Not really trading with the spies or the Qs or anything like that. So that is all in all good news. That's why we're saying this is going to be a healthy pullback. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, and we'll see how we end the rest of the week. See if we're still going to keep that doji body on for the weekly candle, or we're going to kind of rise up and start to make an actual full body out of it, work our way up to the 341s, or we're going to pull back in here, then get closer to that 300 mark, get some more volatility in. We'll kind of have to wait and see. But all in all, that's what we're looking at in here in Tesla, and that is what happened today. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you're interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.